see at nighttime. Nighttime seeing is important. Don't you want to see things? Seeing things is better. What's wrong with you? You don't want to see things. TNVC.
Howdy folks, I'm Jeff Gonzalez with AR15.com. Today's O.S.D video comes from a convenience store robbery in Tennessee. Let's roll the video.
I grab my gun and start shooting, and they start shooting back too.
Welcome to our series O.S.D. O.S.D stands for Observational Skills Development and is a series designed to explore defensive gun use by giving you a breakdown of the skills you should be developing. Now in this video, we observe the importance of freeing your hands and moving your position. Two observable skills we got from this video. One being freeing up the hands. So let's talk a little bit more about that. Listen, we're gonna have a lot of things in our lives that are gonna require us to be holding on to them. Cell phones, cup of coffee, maybe a book, God only knows what else. So the question is, what do I need to do to put myself in a better position? And at the very minimum, I need to free up that strong hand. So that means that I might just relax whatever I'm doing or transfer whatever I'm doing to the other hand. The other thing that I might need to consider is dropping the item. Just get rid of it. Just drop it, whatever it is. It may or may not be that important compared to the actual conflict or the potential conflict that you're dealing with. Another option is to maybe secure the item. And when we're talking about like really expensive phones, it might make sense for me to want to secure that phone in my pocket. The other thing is that I might need to hold on to that phone in case I need to call emergency services to deal with whatever post-action might be required. I could throw the item at the suspect. I could do that. That's a good distraction, but maybe it also takes more skill than you actually think. And then of course, I need to hold on to the item. It may seem unlikely, but it's actually probably a very possible or highly probable scenario that you hold on to the item as you move through the draw stroke or recovering the item or recovering your firearm from wherever you have it positioned. Now let's also talk about moving. What are some of the reasons why movement is so important? Well, first, maybe moving to cover. That could be really important. Getting behind something, at the very least, hiding behind something. Next, I might need to separate myself from my party. If I move away, I draw the attention of the bad guy to me, allowing my family to safely escape. So that's another very viable reason. Then of course, my last known position. If I recognize that the bad guy is distracted, I'm gonna probably take that opportunity to quickly move because at least I'm moving away from that last known position, forcing him to potentially reset to relocate me. But if all else fails and all you've got is air between you and the bad guy, then a moving target is better than a stationary target. So let's take all this stuff out to the range and see how it works.
All right, so we're out at the range and we're gonna start with a drill that's gonna concentrate on freeing up that hand, right? So we're gonna start with an object that's gonna simulate a cell phone, right? And it's just gonna be an empty ammunition tray. Shooters are gonna wanna go ahead and transfer from that strong hand to their weak hand so they can always keep that strong hand viable or available. Then we got three conditions we're gonna work from. The first is gonna be to hold the object, which means they're gonna have to return fire with just one hand. The second is gonna be to secure the object and return fire with two hands. And then the third one is going to be to drop the object and return fire with two hands. After that, we're going to use movement to create a little bit of advantage for ourselves, meaning we're going to move away from our last known position. And what that will hopefully do is create a little bit of a reset, a visual reset in the bad guy. Remember, we're moving either to take advantage of cover, separate from our family, become a moving target, or in this case, to exploit that last known position. So let's see how these guys do. All right, shooters ready, stand by. Up.
Call 911.
Go.
Get on there.
Nice. Shooters on the phone, ready, go. Two hands.
Oh, two hands.
It's all right. Yes. Go.
Oh. I jerked that.
Good, good, good. Now, here's my rule, because if I'm doing a tactical reload and I'm conserving that ammunition, I give myself one chance to put it in the pocket. If it doesn't go in the pocket on the first attempt, I drop it.
Drop it.
And we're back to dropping. Go. Nice. Decock. And holster. Good. Recover the gear. All right, here we go. Relax. Stand by. Go. Good. Holster up. All right. Now I do want to do one more thing that I just thought about. I want you to go ahead and grab the simulated phone, but this time I want you to put it in your right hand. Right hand.
Yeah.
You're going to hold on to
More
it.
common, probably.
Huh?
This is probably.
This is exactly what you're probably going to be doing. So now we're going to drop from our right hand. Dropping from our right hand. Ready? Go. Nice. Decock and return to the holster. All right, good. Clearly, that one is something we should practice because that's where most people are going to be, even though I tell them to transfer their hand or transfer the phone to their other hand. All right, so let's go down, check targets. Obviously, we can see that moving in close, our hit ratio easily goes up. One thing I did notice is that because we're also moving in close, there are two things that you guys didn't do that you have been doing. One, gophering, looking over the sights. None of that, right? There was none of that. Everybody was right on the gun, right on the sights, boom, boom. The second thing, and it was something that I wanted to bring up earlier, but I didn't, which is the bowling up, right? When we started to do a lot of the other drills from further distance, I don't know why, but you guys started bowling. As soon as we got up at this close range, like 5 yards and in, most of the time, I would say about 70 to 80%, the draw stroke had you extending the gun straight to the target versus elevating up to the target, right? Those were kind of like things that were obvious to me. I don't know if they were obvious to you. So good to know. All right, let's tape them. Let's get ready for the next one. All right, shooter. That was 974. Let's see if we can do a little better. Stand by. .29, unload and clear. Nice. Holster up. Stand by.
That was awful.
Good. .05. So, interesting observations, a couple things. First, okay, the key thing is, hey, we're trying to reset that guy's internal clock by moving away from our last known position. Okay, so that's what the reason that we move so vast like is I don't want it to be just a couple steps. I want it to be a good distance, right? That's the ultimate goal. One last thing, when you get your body moving, keep it moving. Now, Josh, your first shots were typically the ones that were here. Once you reloaded, your shots after the reload were the ones that you got real heavy on that trigger. Do you know why?
Single action, and I'm anticipating the.
Yep. So you went right into single action, so there wasn't that double action to slow your trigger finger down, and you didn't realize it even for that second shot too, because both of the second shots on your both the second shots after the reload were all low. First shots weren't bad, right? Paul, good job. I mean, this is that, if you're aiming here, which the assumption is that you are aiming here, then these shots that are going low are just a little bit of a pre-ignition push. It's just like that, you get on a flat bench with a heavy barbell and you get to that stall point. And once you get to that stall point, you kip to get past that stall point. And that kipping motion is what you're doing with your trigger finger, which is what's causing that little, just that little bit, man. It's so modest and subtle that it's hard to see in real time. Really, really is. What I notice when I do it is I can just see the dot or the sight just do a little trump. It just like bounces just a little bit, but it doesn't like leave my sight picture. It just a little bit. What did we learn from this? The two observational skills that we wanted to try to work on was freeing our hands, right? We did 3 conditions. We held onto the object, but not only did we hold onto the object with our weak hand, but we did a couple where we were holding on the object with our strong hand. Why? Because it's a good possibility that you're not going to listen to what I'm saying and keep that cell phone in your right hand. So if you do, at least practice being able to ditch it from that point. Then we secured it in a pocket, then we threw it on the ground. So hopefully through those 3 different conditions, you get to a point where now you're much more reactive should you have to go to guns and you have an object in your hand. The movement away from our last known position, again, is super important. We know that movement is important. Movement is live. I'm moving to get behind cover. I'm moving to separate from my family. I'm moving to be a moving target. Or in this case, I'm moving away from my last known position, right? And when we do that, how far do we move? Again, it's hard to say, but I will tell you this. If we stick to the idea of them being able to vector in within about a 2 to 3 yard distance away from us, then we want to start moving further than that. And then the last kind of like tactical tip, if you get your body moving, don't stop it.
All right, folks, that wraps up this episode of O.S.D. Work on the techniques in isolation, then combine them together in your own super drill. If you have some videos you think would be great for us to cover, email them to me at osd@ar15.com. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share these videos with folks far and wide. Until then, I'm Jeff Gonzalez. Thanks for tuning in. Stay safe or be dangerous.